Well, we're back again. How'd you do on the last one? Did you understand the tangible and intangible thought processes? You getting a handle on that? If not, like I said, send us some questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Um, the key in understanding all of this is understanding the difference between, like I said, the tangible and intangible, natural and supernatural. The problem is when you're working in definition, a good example of definition on tangible and intangible, or supernatural and natural, is whenever you come into situations like animism. Um, when we talk about animism, we define it. When we define animism as a belief system, animism actually is a thinking practice. If it's the way you process the material that's coming your direction, and we can actually be animistic and not even realize it. We can actually even think we're looking at our places of worship, church, if you will, and think that we're looking at it straight on and the way it should be, when in actuality, if you really analyze our process information, we're seeing church as an animistic organization. God is not separate from the church. He's tied into the church. Well, in a certain extent, that's correct. But actually, the church is a product. It's a product of our relationship with Christ. And yes, Christ is in it through us, but he's not in it as the directive. He is the directive in each individual, and it's directive in the fact of the relationship. Again, this is where ABC thinking comes in, to be able to analyze these things out. If you look at a lot of the shamans and witch doctors out there, most of them, a very good share of those guys are very analytical in their thought processes. It's not that they don't understand or even know God. Most of them know God better than most Christians do. But we look at them as an antichrist, or we look at them as a animistic individual, this type of thing, when these guys are actually have made a decision to serve Satan, not God. And they're very much aware of who God is. And we, if we aren't thinking correctly in ABC, our belief system actually goes to an object, the church, the Bible, if you will, song services or worship services or this type of thing, instead of God himself. If we're emotionally tied to it, normally this is the way we look at it. But if we're analytically tied to where we understand and are able to separate God from the function and have that relationship with God, and through that relationship we create the function, then we are looking at it correctly, and this type of thing. But if it's all tied into a jumbled pile and not sorted out, we need to back up and see where we're thinking and see where our relationship is. This is the whole example that I'm bringing back to John 14th chapter. You know, the apostles or the disciples that Jesus was talking to were growing. They were learning. And this is a learning development process. It just doesn't, it's not pull a recipe out of a Cracker Jack box and here I am, an ABC thinker. It's hard work. The realities of understanding who we are and where we're at with all this stuff is hard work. And and even those, there's a lot of people out there that think that they're ABC thinkers and probably are in some categories. But to be an ABC thinker across the board is really hard work. The realities of it are really tough to go through, and one of the things that happens with ABC thinking is you wind up working in the absolute truth of Christ. Not the truth that you see, but what we call true truth. Not the truth that you see, but the truth that Christ sees. That's the only absolute truth that's really out there. And an ABC thinker seeks the truth of Christ. And that's how he looks at things. Through that truth of Christ, and through that true truth, then the Holy Spirit can come. The Holy Spirit will work with us and generate the wisdom that we need. This is the magnitude of what ABC thinking does. Most people think why go to all the bother of this? Why not just believe and have faith? Well, I have belief in the chair that it's going to hold me up. I have faith that it's going to hold me up. And it doesn't mean the chair is going to be anything other than just that. You've got to be able to analyze things and have a relationship with it. We even have a relationship with chairs. Some of them are good, some of them not so good, depending on how comfortable the chair is. But we have to have a relationship with God. How do you have a relationship with somebody that is supernatural? Stay tuned. We're going to get into the natural and supernatural. Thank you.